Hello, everyone. Today we are painting very famous, one of the famous paintings of Caspar David Friedrich, The Dreamer. As we go along, I'll tell a bit more story about him and the painting. But let's just start. I have A4 paper. And actually, what I've discovered that surprised me, that the size of this painting in original is actually the same size as A4. That little, I must, yeah, it's in centimeters. So it's 21 to 27 centimeters. So actually, we are kind of painting more or less like original. So we can take a little bit maybe closer to decide what colors. Yeah, we have very cool sunset. So probably something from bluish, purplish towards pink, peachy, yellow, go up. And then, of course, the biggest part is brown, orange, bronze, and with some maybe gray, greenish spots. So, yeah, more or less the colors I have here. So bronze, brown, greenish, and then purple, pink, peachy, yellow for the sky, some black for the sky, and then, yeah, maybe some orangey. And here I have a pinkish. And with this one, we will start with underpainting. That actually could be maybe even, I think the peachy even works better. Let's try to, instead of pink, peachy color. I kind of have it already. Anyway, I'm gonna mix it with white, so it's more pale, not so bright. But if you don't have peachy, then mixing it's easy. It's yellow and pink. If you don't have pink, then it's red plus white. So in general, it's kind of orange with lots of white. But mixing it's nice, because then when you mix yellow and pink, then you can kind of play a bit. Do you want it more yellowish or more pinkish, and so on. Doing underpainting is actually very popular and convenient thing to do. And it can be actually experimenting with different colors, and often using bright colors is really cool, like bright orange, and sometimes purple, yeah, and even if later you kind of have almost all painting covered with other paint color, anyway, there is something that kind of shines through. So just very quickly, just color. So what I can tell about this painting? So the Dreamer, the Caspar Friedrich, he painted it in 1840. Well, also, as Google states, actually he spent like 20 years painting it, and he was around 66 years old at this moment. And of course, Friedrich, he belongs to the Romanticism style. If you look to the art history, and what it means that he wasn't painting nature just as a realism. He was using nature as a symbolic way to show something more, to tell that there is always some like underneath hidden inside meaning. And actually in his times he wasn't popular, so it happens often with artists that he was kind of ahead of his time. And because actually for his time, his paintings were too still. They were not really kind of reflecting what was there happening in the moment. So actually only in 20th century, he kind of got famous and he was discovered. And then, of course, like the main topic of him is always like this philosophy, this soul search, the path, like life path. And in many of his paintings, he depicts somewhere a man, like one lonely person that actually kind of is a little bit also eye-catching moment, but then also represents this contrast between nature and the man. And for example, here, as we look at our painting, so I've finished the underpainting, so you can see it's pretty much just like quick. So not worried about that it's perfect or something, just not to have it bad. So I give it 1 minute to dry, and then we can take a look a bit closer to his painting. So what we see, then we see this arc, this window that, so in the middle part, it's kind of empty, missing, and then we can see there are some trees showing from the other side. It's also as if like replacing the missing window part. And it's Gothic structure, so it can be referenced to some old church. And then actually, if we take a look from the symbolism point of view, that it a little bit reminds like an altar in a church, this three-way silhouette. And exactly the middle part is usually where the Christ is. So, but here instead, then we see the sky, we see nature. Also, if you look closely to the man, then he's kind of, so he's wearing also pretty much like city suit. Yeah, and obviously he's in the nature. And he's actually like sitting and looking in front of him. So not really contemplating the sunset, the sky, but more he's in his thoughts. Yeah, so of course, everyone can find own feeling interpretation. Yeah. Okay. My underpainting, more or less. I think I'll be going without the pencil sketch, since I think it's pretty much kind of easy, I think. And what I will start with, with the sky, then another exercise to do the gradient. So we can prepare a little bit of purplish, pinkish, orange, yellow. And then on top, then we go with darker brown and so on. So I'm putting all the colors of the sunset, but definitely we will need the white to add in. So it doesn't have to be that bright. It's should be much more pale. And I'm thinking, Yeah, I think I will start so from the bottom with the purple part. Yeah, so making it really pale. And then just blending. So it's pretty much symmetrical composition today. So just somewhere in the middle. And believe me, you will always need more white than you think or than you're putting. And again, if you're like having stripes from brush, remember, don't fight with them. Just let the paint dry and then go on top with the second layer and it's all fine. Okay, a little bit of purple. Now I'm putting pink. Yeah, and then of course trying to make the transition soft and smooth. Also, be aware, like the stripes doesn't have to be equal in its thickness. I think like the opposite, try to make them different. Otherwise, then it looks a bit boring or. Yeah, so maybe like the purple more, the pink less. And then orangey. And I'm going. Yeah, also yellow, always pretty much strong colors. Yeah, and also let's say, I also feel that in my case, I got maybe in proportion too big this part. So maybe it takes just one, a bit less than 1/3. Also, then it's more up to sky, but. And the rest of the sky, again, so we can do a little bit. So there we have already did something pinkishy orangey with grayish clouds. Here we can actually also do some underneath stripes. Okay. And. Yeah, and then of course, feel free to go more around than you feel you need, because covering on top with this brown is, will be easy. Okay, that actually was quick. Karen, did you get till the blending?
Not finished yet.
Okay. Yeah, and here I feel there is a little bit like lighter. So then we have purple, pink, orange, yellow. Then it comes a little bit part as if like from yellow it ends up with white. And then the upper part goes with already more like just cloudy, peachy with something gray in there. Then actually maybe I'll do a little bit of grayish there. But now I'm thinking it should be pretty gray. So definitely not black, maybe taking some blue or thinking. So well current finishes. Here I have some silver. Let me experiment. What happens? I mix silver with peach. Actually, it works. Yay, nice, love it. So, and especially it's kind of the silver color is a bit transparent in itself, so it's not very aggressive. And I'm mixing it with this peaches, so then, and also not everywhere, but just some.
Don't wait for me because I've made a mistake. I'm going to have to go back and start mine. I've missed a bit of my window.
What happened? I mean, like, if I can help.
I used the, because I've done an undersketch, I used the edge of the tree as one of the trees as my edge of my window rather than the edge of the window. So I just need to go and pick that up a bit, which is now looking a bit messy because
All right.
I'm doing it in a hurry and I'm not getting my colours right. But there you go.
Yes, actually, I must admit that, for example, it's not, sometimes it's not easy to correct, especially if we're talking about like these light colors, because here we're also using the effect of white paper. So the white paper also gives us the this kind of mix with white. And then of course, if we need to correct, then it's either you just add the layer of white paint and wait, and then go in with the color you need, but then you're not getting any more this transparency. So here I decided to mix also the silver a little bit also on the bottom of purple. Stop, otherwise I'm gonna just get too messy. All righty. Yeah, so let's give time to dry. Let's wait for Karen a bit.
No, don't worry, you can go on.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm working faster.
All right, then I will continue with yeah, with the main volume of walls. So this brownish copper, yeah. So I've used silver, now it's actually I want to use copper. Actually, I'll start with it, see how it looks. If it looks too light, then maybe adding a bit of brown also works. Yeah, maybe let's take a look at some. Maybe not sienna. Yeah, and of course it's good to have some extra piece of paper to try the color before you put in. So yeah. So the only thing that copper is also the same as other metallic paints, they're kind of a bit transparent, but yeah, we can do different layers. Okay, so pretty much just now going a bit with the also maybe just also finding the middle. Yeah, so now it's kind of a bit painting, sketching directly with the brush. Don't be scared, the opposite, be brave. So I see Sonia joining us. Good. And actually here it's good to remember to use this dry brush technique. So then it's more, you have more control. So you're not putting paint too actively, but just going slowly, and then you can control the process. No rush. Yeah, you can always go dark with brown, but going back not so easy. So...
You know why you're painting, Gouache? Just have a look. You know, paint.
Hi, hello, Sonia. Yes. Sorry, couldn't hear you well. If it was, if you were speaking to me. Yes, we already started, Sonia. So, but there will be recording, so you can take a look at the start if you want later. I'm not sure if you're painting with or just watching. If you're painting, so what we did the underpainting with the peachy color. So just cover the whole page quickly with like light orange color. The next step was doing the sunset gradient. So we've put purple, pink, orange, yellow, like blending them nicely. Yes, and now I'm using copper color. Of course, you can use like brown, but good to start with light. And then later we build up the shadows, and there are some like tree lines and so on. Yeah, but I actually like how it's going light. Yeah, using metallic paints is nice. And especially if later we color it with a bit more brown, but still some metallic will keep on shining through. And shining, I mean, like, they are with the correct point of light. They are, yeah, nicely shining. Yeah, so of course, if it's my first layer of light brown still, I try to do a little bit of rocks. Like if I see the part where they can be. Yeah, and here, for example, at the middle part, you can even see like there are columns. So you can even count. So there is like one big, then a smaller piece, and another big, and then the arch. So actually this one I'll try to represent. Yeah, so just instead of just putting a straight line, we can, and then it's a bit more credibility on the construction. Yeah, I was trying to do the columns and then it became a bit too thick. Okay. Yeah, and again, so putting the first layer of brown, I'm not trying to be very careful. Actually, the opposite, being more messy, will help me showing this, feeling the whole this complicated structure of rocks. So here first, kind of almost all the same, color-wise and darkness-wise. Getting it done. Cool. Okay. Now checking the windows. One got a bit bigger, one a bit smaller. Two. Let me see if I can correct it a bit. And well, the only way to correct, of course, to make bigger one a bit smaller. And go the other way. Okay. Well, later with the brown can precise a bit more. Cool. Like how it goes for now. So the next, I think I will let the copper part dry. And meanwhile, I can do those all those trees in the window. Yeah. And they're very pale, and definitely a small brush is something that can do this work. And I suggest having paint pale and watery. Yeah, so watery will help both, having it lighter and then easier to put strokes. What color? It looks to me, of course, like very pale brownish green. So I will take a tiny bit of green, but of course it will need lots of white. So first preparing the mix. Then I have my green. Maybe I can also mix here with the leftovers of yellow. So already have it lighter. Then I will add a bit of brown, so it kind of calms down. So then it's not so. Yeah, brown is very good. You can add it to also to blue when you have blue and it's like too bright, yeah, like too screaming. You add a bit of brown, and at once it helps to calm down. And now just white to this green. Okay, let's go and try. So I'm taking, you can also, of course, always use, separate paper if you're not sure how your brush works, the color, if the brush is thin enough. You can just experiment. And then if you're happy, then okay, let's go with this vertical strokes. And then we'll be adding the branches. Yes, there are two of them here. Maybe even more brownish if you like. I want to add a little bit too greenish. Okay, there we go. Yes, and try to enjoy doing all these tiny things, just kind of. And if, like, let's say you go to, like, just unwillingly you make a too thick line, then actually you can, if you're quick, you can clean it up a bit, just kind of add water and blend it out, take out. Also, paper towel can work. Yeah, but have it pretty much watery. Okay, so these two. Then there is one more darker and a bit of branches. Yeah, and at first it might feel like, oh my God, those trees, those, how can I do? But then you do like a bit of them, and then by doing already 4th, 5th, you feel more secure, and then it will be already just very easy. And the main thing is, I think, still to keep it kind of pale. Yeah, so they're there, but they're not that screamingly. Yeah, and then of course change the direction of branches, change the thickness, and yeah, bigger, smaller. So don't make them the same. Yeah, and also distance between them also different. So I mean, you can just to take a look at the original painting and just follow the lines Friedrich has chosen. But if you're doing your branches, then keep in mind this concept of making different. Yeah? While I'm saying it, because actually it happens that our brains, if we don't think about it, then they tend automatically put things a bit in order, and then we end up with so-called fence, that the line are on the same distance, the same size, and then for painting it doesn't really work. Then it looks boring, and yeah, even if we are painting actually fence that is perfectly, newly built fence, still we need to make it a bit more interesting, and yeah, something bigger, something smaller, darker, lighter, and so on. Yeah, so in the end, like my tree is basically just kind of like more like tapping. Yeah, so it's the thing that you're not actually painting a tree, but it's more like a feeling. Yeah, so of course you do just some lines, but that remind or give impression when everyone knows it's tree. Don't forget about the person, give him also space. Anyway, your tree lines should be pale enough so the person covers his very red hair and dark suit. So, and actually behind him also he's sitting and there are branches. Yeah, so maybe you end up with kind of your own technique, your way, how you create those feeling of the tree. like play around. Yeah, maybe also changing brush can help if you feel one brush is not working. Just I don't know, take another one that is maybe more flat or more. Yeah, it's just different. Mm. Yeah, and no worries making it all perfect. You can always come back. Yeah, so also not to get too tired of doing those trees. Yeah, I can do some part and then I'll paint something else. Here I'm taking a bit more darker brown. Yeah, so this tree here, because it's in front, this tree kind of belongs to the window structure. So we're painting it more. Yeah, and you can even go, so don't leave it on the border of window, but go a bit inside, do some movements. Yeah, and painting thin lines, yes, might be not easy, sometimes even frustrating. But anyway, it's also all the just practice and knowing well your brushes, and then having your favorite brush that you know, okay, this one does this, and then it's already. So everything just with experience. Yes, this tree takes time. All right, I'm taking a little break from the trees. I'm thinking. So I think the next step I'll go for back to the rocks. Actually, okay, I see one more tree that I found here on the right side. So maybe just also quick sketch of this tree. And well, actually, I will continue with this, the same little brush and with brown. So I think I'll play a little bit with those browny parts, but already maybe not so trying to make a thin line, but still having my brush kind of watery. So it's still a bit transparent, and then I can also like correct it with the paper towel or just remove some parts. So I'm kind of playing between lines and maybe a bit some wider surface of rocks. And let this process be more meditating than frustrating. Yeah, just kind of catch the flow and try to go with all those rocks and spots. And of course, they don't have to be perfect, like they don't have to be one-to-one, as it Friedrich's painting, but it's just also easier to follow where he has the shadows. Because like he already did the job for us. He has chosen, yeah, all those. Yeah, I apologize. It's on my side. The computer is getting some notifications. Yeah, and again, just play around. We'll let it dry, and we go with maybe then later with a bit more greenish, and just kind of changing colors. So building on top different. Yeah, so here where the column is, I can use again a bit of brown lines to precise. Now I have to be more careful where are my columns. Over here. Yeah, and here already, of course, can be just a bit more careful doing. It's like maybe here is the structure. Yes, and a good way using acrylics watery, then you just can correct them also. Yeah, but of course, with acrylics they dry quickly, so you can't wait to correct. So either if you did something wrong, then just quickly grab a paper towel or the same brush, but make it clean. Yeah, just with clean water can remove. And here at the bottom, you can also draw some things like also like stones already, like with a precise shape. Yeah, and especially if we do everything here, all those rocks kind of abstract, it's actually good to have a little bit somewhere in the foreground, a bit precise, then it gives the whole feeling, okay, it's the rocks. Yeah? It's actually a very popular trick to use. You don't really paint everything, but just some elements, like maybe like also like in the hair or the waves of the sea. So some of them you make a bit more precise, and then the viewer gets this feeling idea, but the rest is more just sketch a line. And if you take a look at those lines separately, they're not telling you anything, but being together with the and but also don't worry like having some empty spaces. Actually, this is what I like about acrylics, that you can do like those different lines and strokes, and then when it's dry, you can fill it up with some other colors, like some other, and then kind of quick way. Karen, tell me, how is it doing? Which part are you now?
I'm putting in some shadows with the darker brown, and but I'm being quite loose with it.
Yes, very nice. Yeah, I suggest like go watery, go transparent. Like I think it will make easier process. Okay, I'm taking green with some brown, just a bit brown to make green more like lower intensity, but still it should be like green, and then you can also do some. But here already, be careful, don't add white. Like if you want to make it more light, it's better than to just have it more watery, because white will make it pale. But here all this part is a bit, it's more like shadowy. So then it will be a little bit like contradiction. Yeah, because we want to create this effect that here it's all dark. And now at the moment, let's say all my rocks are still very light. So I need to work on getting the darkness. Yes, and I'm just setting some also. Change the brush. Feels too. Also, sometimes good to work parallel with two brushes. Let's say smaller, bigger. So. Let's say two bigger one. Now, of course, it will go quicker, but not that nicely detailed. There's always and yeah, but it's good at taking bigger brush then, because exactly as I've realized I need to go more darker. Yeah, because my copper wasn't. But with this darker, we were gonna do this trick of filling the gaps. So we can now still kind of just see the main parts points, but try. Okay, I'm thinking maybe I will mix. I'll take red and I'll see if I mix it with brown and separately with copper, which one will suit me better to do the. Maybe all three of them also.
It's funny because I got out some red. Well, actually, it's a really deep violet. I thought that would be really great on the shadows.
Yes, yes, yes. Just trying to get this nice mix. Yeah, but then I feel it's gonna be also like maybe too dark for all my shadows I did already. But let's see. Let's try to.
Sonia disappeared again.
Yes, yes. Just I mean, sometimes maybe, but if maybe because she was late or
Yeah. There seemed to be something going on in her background as well, which you never know what.
Yes, yes, yeah. It felt the person just walked in to check what's going on. Then get the idea, but it's fine. I mean, sometimes I also sign up for online workshops, and if I'm not kind of prepared to paint, then it's kind of just take a glimpse what's going on, so you have idea, and then later like if it fits you, you watch the recording.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's okay. We all do do this. And,
I have a new class starting on the 2nd of May, another print class, but this is very particularly intaglio,
yes.
which is not my kind of real strength, to be honest.
So Karen is getting serious on this print.
Yeah. I also have another friend that does dry point. So she came over one day last week and we just did some dry point together, which was really nice.
Wow.
She was showing me how she does hers.
So do you already have a space where you share your artworks, Karen?
Well,
If I would like to see what you did.
I do have I do have a Instagram account. I'm just really bad at using it. I need to get, as we've discussed before, I need to get better. But yeah, have a look, Karen Little Art. Some of my old stuff's there.
Oh, awesome, definitely. But in the end, as in art, using social media also just the question of practice.
Yeah.
Like I hated to do the stories, but now kind of okay. I got my hands. Like you practice a bit, you find some tricks you repeat, and you do them then later more or less automatically. So yeah, it takes less time. So kind of. Like just find a way to that it takes minimum effort.
I'm also going to go part-time at work, so I'm going down to 4 days a week. That's how I'm hoping anyway. I haven't had the go-ahead yet, but I can't see any reason why they wouldn't. So that's happening hopefully in May, so really soon. And my day off work is going to be my print day, so I'm hoping to spend my day printing. And that will be really good because that will be a Wednesday, and it's the day after my class, which is on my print class, which is on a Tuesday evening.
Cool. Well, I hope your day match the way, yeah, it fits. Is your work connected with art?
Well, I work for an organisation called Cornwall Museums Partnership. So we work with museums and galleries and art galleries. My job isn't really particularly connected with artists, but I think I might have told you before our office is in a place called Crowdgy.
Yes.
Which is artist studios. So like I was there on, I don't know, Tuesday, and one of the artists saw me and was like, oh, I haven't seen you for ages. And then I went into her studio, we had a chat, I had a look at her paintings, we talked about what she does and how she does it and how she sells. So it's, there is a lot of opportunity that I have through work to connect with people.
Yeah, that's cool. So checking the intensity of my darkness. Not dark enough. Yeah, it's not dark enough because it's not shining yet. But I'm a bit scared, like to go too dark and then all the stuff I was doing now will. But
the thing about it,
nothing to do.
If you do go too dark, you can always do a lighter wash over it, can't you, to knock it back a bit?
Yeah.
Because I think what I'm doing at the moment is probably a bit dark and a bit patchy, but I think that's okay because I can need to come along afterwards and unify it, if that makes sense.
Yes.
But at the same time, I also kind of want to get in that feeling of, stone and blocks.
Yeah. Well, the feeling of stone works, I think it's just being patient and
Yeah.
just painting them. Like there is no one brush that like you just put them. But imagine he did this size of painting he did.
I know. I'm really surprised that it's A4.
I'm still surprised. I really like. I will check somewhere else the information because it's like.
Now with the other one we did of his was the man on the top of the mountain, wasn't it?
It's also was the same, yeah, Casper David Friedrich, and also just like a solo man standing.
Yes.
Something you can find a lot in his paintings. Some people said like he actually he was bad in painting portraits. So actually he always just did like just a small figure and like recently I was asked like what paintings would I do, you know, and I was thinking, okay, because I'm, you know, like still struggling a bit finding this topic, and then I thought that okay, if I would like philosophical paintings, I think this is something I would like to do. So like Casper Friedrich, he's a little bit in this way, yeah, because there is some like enigma or some underneath meaning of this, and another painter that I also like, that I get inspiration from, is if you know René Magritte.
Yeah.
Yes. So like other surrealists, like I really like Dali or Max Ernst and others. Yeah, they're a bit like too Freud, like some strange dreams, and but with René Magritte, like he has this like a bit poster realism, but he always have this enigma in his paintings. It's always like you ask like what it can mean.
Yeah.
And then he kind of makes you think. And then he makes you try to interpret the bird not as the bird, and think of like the man not as a man, so some other meaning that you can find, you know. And I'm thinking, so how like, so like if you would get the task, Karen, there is like exhibition, we need to get philosophical painting.
What would I do?
What would you do?
I don't know. I'm not sure I could do a philosophical. Not sure I can say it. I'm not sure I could do a philosophical painting. I'm not even really all that sure. I mean, I get it. I get what you're saying, and I get, you know, like this. I can see the philosophy in it, in that, you know, the kind of isolation of man. I'm not sure that I would go down that route though.
Interesting.
And if I did, I think if I was going to, it would actually probably become political rather than philosophical.
Oh no, political is too I'd rather maybe talk about more because political, I think it's more like it's like some protest or expressing that you disagree, you think the other way, that things should work, or and I think it's sometimes a bit maybe like it's fighting. It's hard to fight the politics and the system and machine. Well, maybe like I think this soul searching, like the path, is because in the end, each person goes through the growth and not finding himself and realizing some truth and what actually matters in life and what things actually don't matter at all, and so on. So maybe like, just topics that could help.
Interestingly, on that note, I do occasionally paint my feelings just to kind of bypass the conscious mind. If that makes sense. But then they're always very, very abstract. Nobody would look at it and go, oh, well, that was a feeling of.
So what technique you use? Like difference or just abstract, but
usually paint, sometimes collage, and I freeform, so I don't. It's difficult to describe. I just paint. I just paint on the paper.
And what happens later? Do you keep the paintings, or it's just like the moment of expression, and it's actually not, the aim is not the painting, the aim is just to get the
Yeah, I go back to them and kind of go, okay, so what's going on here, and how does this help me understand what I'm feeling? But then they tend to be very personal, and I wouldn't, and I'd never share. Well, never shared them with counsellors and people, but never with. Well, that's not true. Very, very close friends. I may occasionally.
But the person from a side maybe not always can also understand like what's what was your feeling, emotion there, or you think. Like, I mean, I understand you call it personal, of like, yeah, so maybe, but
I think I would be less free if I thought there was going to be an audience for it.
Okay, yeah. But if someone then sees it like occasionally, or I mean, it's not.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I share them with friends.
The path of art is just has so many directions and so many branches and so many. Oh my God.
And I guess I think of that as more as art therapy because, as I said, you bypass the conscious mind.
So describe me, what you mean by bypassing conscious mind? So
intellectually, I might say, I feel sad today, and I will paint a person looking sad. And then that will express the way I feel. And that would be my conscious mind going, this will express the way I feel.
Yeah.
But if you go into it with how do I feel? What colour is that feeling? What shape is that feeling? And then you look at what you've got, and then you think, oh, look, that's interesting. So I might add something to a particular element. And you just build it, as I said, out of what looks interesting, really.
Yeah.
I need to look at this I might take a photograph of this and send it to you, actually, because I need to look at it from further away. Oh,
Yep.
use that. I haven't put person in yet, as always.
Forward.
I feel I need to unify my walls. Central purrs, not straight. I sent it to you.
Cool.
She says, have I sent it to you?
So.
No. Yes, there it is. Oh, that looks terrible. That's okay though. That's exactly what I said, wasn't it? That it needs that bricks bringing together.
Oh, exciting. Very nice pink corner. Somehow, I don't know, it's
Pink corner?
yeah, I don't know why, like
Oh, bottom right hand side of the window. That's waiting for the man to go in.
Got it, yeah. Wow, but I really liked you managed, yeah, this very pale, all this sky and trees, and then strong contrasty windows. Interesting. I feel like it's a bit different structure on your one, that like this bottom part, you know, as if in perspective it goes like,
yeah,
or but looks nice as if there is this inside.
I was completely making that up because I can't really see it on the picture that I've got of his painting. So I was just like, oh yeah, just whatever, just do whatever.
Yeah, so okay, like the story with stones, yeah, then again depends on your objectives, if you want to make it more abstract or like if you're still like into a bit more realistic, then just taking another color, let's say, yeah, this red, the light red is nice as the base, those dark spots as well, and then maybe something, now you can take something in between, and then just also just filling up with smaller, yeah, so then you have these dark spots bigger. But if you aim for realistic, then just like change this for the small brush and maybe just go around, tick, 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 pointing the. So then, if you want to have this,
yeah, I do.
feeling of. Also, could be like play a little bit maybe with yeah, this separation line. Yeah, they also give like a little bit realistic effect. So like, yeah, these horizontal lines on the on the column. So it's kind of then, it's not one whole thing as a tree, but then you kind of, like just the column, maybe like a little bit here at where the arc is, just with a small brush, tiny. But cool. Yeah, to me it looks kind of philosophical.
Thank you. Philosophical.
Yes, that's the cool. Okay, I'm gonna stop a bit with rocks, do the man, and then think what else I wanted to. So let's take some black. And then his face is orange, hair brown, hands also orange, a little bit of white as a shirt, but the rest is pretty much black. So I'll start with black. And okay, I think I will go the safe way and sketch very lightly with pencil, just to get the right proportions. And so maybe just shoe, then check the knee in comparison to hand is. All right, pencil on. Let's just. Tomorrow I'm traveling to another city. So Riga is the capital, and then the second biggest city in Latvia is called Daugavpils. And it's on the other side. It's like on the border. They're closer to Russia. And in this city, there is the Museum of Mark Rothko.
Oh yeah.
Because Mark Rothko, he was born in Latvia.
How was he? I didn't know that.
Yeah, usually people know because, of course, when he was a kid with parents, they moved to the States. And there he became as a famous painter. But of course, like just using this detail that he was born here, then we're using his name and of course the museum. So that also make. So I haven't been there yet. So tomorrow.
When are you going?
Tomorrow I'm going.
Oh wow! Oh, that's
Just
cool.
like one day trip.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Baron back in the.
Is there something specific you're going to see at the museum?
Honestly, I don't know. I didn't have time to prepare, but I was just invited to join this excursion. So there will be actually the bus taking like a group of people there, and then there will be a guide. He will tell the thing. So it's kind of very easy way. So I don't need to think and plan. You just
Yeah.
get in, and then I let discover what's the program tomorrow.
That sounds like fun.
Yes, actually.
Will you take a sketchbook?
I'll try. I mean, I'll take it, but let's see how it goes with in general with time, and because I think they also in program they also have some piano concert.
All right.
So kind of just well, yeah, I think my man is too dark in comparison with everything.
What color did you use?
And just took black. But okay, I'll let this black dry, and then of course we can lighten a bit.
Payne's grey.
Yes.
My go-to, although I haven't got any in here at the moment, I have to say, but I won't do my man black. Maybe a very dark brown.
Yeah, I somehow thought maybe dark brown won't work. It'd be too light.
Yeah.
But okay, yeah.
Well, with all the brown, I get that because it is all very dark, isn't it? I was in a local park yesterday waiting for some friends, and I was taking photographs of the birds, particularly the ducks. I had a couple of ducks right in front of me, and they were, you know how ducks feed from the bottom when they were sticking their bums up in the air.
Yep.
And I just have to get some photographs of this and do a print of ducks' bottoms.
Sweet and nice.
Probably do a lino cut.
Well, this is a cool idea.
It'll be quite cute. It's quite commercial.
I think it can definitely become a very nice commercially thing to reproduce.
Yeah, it's I mean, the beauty of it, again, over painting, of course, is that you charge less for the prints, but you can sell a lot more of them.
Well,
You're done.
I need to do something with man a bit, so he's not that just separate black spot. But
I love your stonework though. I mean, it's absolutely great.
oh, thank you.
And actually, your trees are that like kind of like ghost trees.
But it's very interesting now because I have, so this is like the calendar where this painting is printed, and then I have this painting on the phone, and on the phone it's so shiny, like and actually like it much more. So I don't know if you can, like here, take a look.
Yeah.
You see, it's like you barely can see the man, and everything's so dark, and then it's shiny. So
Yeah. Actually, I think I might do them in green. Did I say that already? I think I said brown, didn't I? I actually think I'm going to do them in green.
yeah. Let's see here.
Might just tap a little bit of black into it.
Okay, I think I'm gonna call it. Yeah, the man is more obvious. Like in his painting, I think maybe not at once you see the man, or more or less like maybe just a little bit more pale the guy.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, more or less, I'm happy.
Good.
Like for how much? Like 1.5 hours work.
That's amazing for 1 hour and a half's work.
I wonder how long he painted, huh?
Yeah, more than an hour and a half.
And I think also that he had different like pre-painting. So he made one idea composition, then I think till he ended up with this these articles. Well, Karen, I think I will have to leave you
Okay,
because I have another lesson coming up.
no worries.
And but please take all the time and please send, and then we hop and comment in
Okay.
chat. Is it fine with you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. Well, thank you for joining.
No,
Without you, it would
you'd have
be
been all right.
sad.
It's been my absolute pleasure.
So good to see you again. Mhm.
Will we see you next week?
Hopefully, yes.
Super.
Cool.
All right.
We keep in touch, and then
Have a good class.
thank
The
you.
next
Thank
one.
you as well. Yes. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Well, for 1.5, maybe Karen is right. It's not a bad result. So of course there is always room to grow and work with light and dark. But yeah, it's a sketch to get a feeling. Hope you all enjoyed as well. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.